Hey guys, welcome back. It's Rick here, and on today's video I'm going to continue on with my water damage assessment of the Airstream, as well as get up on the roof and start resealing some areas where I think maybe I'm getting in some water intrusion, so stick around. Yeah guys, so if you watched last week's video, Lisa and I kind of found out some unfortunate news, during a recent camping trip when we were out, and we had noticed that we had some staining on the floors. And as I was kind of doing some assessment and everything, I noticed that I started to have I found a soft spot on the subfloor. So I was talking with some fellow Airstreamers at a local rally, and kind of came to the conclusion that I had a water leak in the Airstream. So once we got it home, I started to remove some of the furniture out of the Airstream, as well as then I had to peel back the linoleum to really kind of get a full understanding of what I was dealing with. I thought maybe I only had one water leak or one area of water damage near the door, but after I'd done some more investigating, I found out that I had a leak on the opposite side of the Airstream, opposite of the door, along that structural rib that goes across the roof and then down to the other side on the driver's side. The water intrusion was coming in there as well, and that the subfloor had also been damaged in that area. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Is I'm going to be getting up on the roof, and I'm going to start resealing those areas where I think the water intruded in, and as well as, if we get time today, I'll start cutting out some of the subflooring that looks like it's going to have to be replaced. But it really depends on how quickly I can get up on the roof, get the roof resealed, and then move on to doing some more work on the inside. So let's go ahead and get everything set up and get up on the roof. I definitely got to change into my work hat. This means it's officially a work day now. So I would tell you, if you've never been up on the roof of your Airstream, you got to be very careful. Make sure you don't cause any damage up there. As you can see, I put some towels up there to prevent any type of scratching on the Airstream as well, provide a little bit of cushion. But also, never get up on your roof if the roof is wet or any type of moisture. Make sure you're wearing some good shoes that have some good traction on them as well. And then even once you get up there, you got to make sure you're only stepping where the rivets are, and also try to maintain at least 3 points of contact, both feet and at least one hand on the roof, and gently move around, almost like you're playing a game of Twister up there, so you don't cause any type of damage up on the roof and everything. Okay, so I made it up here on the roof, and as you can see, I got my box of supplies over here and everything. I do have to go back down and get the caulking, but I just wanted to kind of show you where I'm going to be sealing up the roof up here, and just where I think some of that water intrusion was coming in at. So if you can see right here, of course, this is the Fantastic fan, and what I did is I removed all of the caulking from around this, as well as here's the skylight. And this again isn't a factory installed skylight. This is a Maxim skylight, but I went ahead and peeled off all of the caulking around this as well. So I'm going to reseal this. So this will take a little bit of time here, as well as this. And then I saw a few cracks starting to form on the front skylights. I'm going to go ahead and reseal those as well. Just using a little bit of denatured alcohol, according to Dycor's website. Use that for just kind of final cleanup and prep. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Looks pretty clean. So did I ever tell you guys how much I hate getting up here on the roof of the Airstream? If I can avoid it, I try to, but unfortunately I can't avoid it today. Okay, so we got everything up here sealed up. Looks pretty good. It's going to take a while for it to level out, and you know, several days for it to cure and everything. What we'll do is we'll come back up here in a few days and just make sure that it didn't separate anywhere, or if there's any areas where I need to touch it up. I've probably been up and down that ladder, I don't know, 20, 30 times in the last few days. But all right, so we got everything all sealed up there. You know, it's not gonna look perfect. It's gonna, you know, look like a 3-year-old, you know, went up there with a caulk gun and caulked it. You know, there's just no way to really make it look beautiful. I mean, you can do your best, but it's really about getting a good seal all the way around all of those seams and joints and everything. So I think it's gonna look pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and let it start leveling out, curing. I'll go back up there to see if there's any spots I missed, touch that up as necessary. But you also may have seen that I had taken the cover off of the air conditioning unit. I did that because I needed to be able to get in to the front edge of the skylight, and that the cover was kind of blocking my angle, so I had to take it off so I could get in there with the caulk gun a little bit easier. But yeah, so I got that put back on. But before I put the lid back on, I went ahead and did a good visual inspection of the air conditioning unit, looked at the coils, made sure that the fan motors bolts were all tight, made sure there wasn't any debris, bird's nest or anything like that up in there. So again, just knocking out a few other little maintenance tasks while I'm up on the roof as well. But time for some lunch. Hey guys, so welcome back. So we got the roof all sealed up earlier this morning. So while that lap sealant is curing over the next few days, we're going to continue to run the dehumidifier and the fans here inside the Airstream to continue to dry out the subfloor. But in the meantime, what I've done is I've taken my trusty wood probe, which is just a screwdriver, and I'm going around here and trying to find where the damaged wood is and where the good wood starts.
That's what she said?
And you can already see here, I've kind of come through here with a Sharpie marker and kind of outlined where I think the damaged wood is. So that's the area that I definitely need to remove. So we're going to do that on this side here and on that side over there by the door as well. And then we'll do some tests to make sure that we don't have any more leaks before we start putting everything back into the Airstream. So that's what we're off to next. Okay, so I got a piece of cardboard, got a template cut out, and this is basically the outline of the area of the subfloor that I'm going to cut out. So I wanted to have this template as a guide, so when I go and buy the subfloor plywood, then I've got something to kind of base it off of. So as you can see, of course, this back edge here has got a slight curve to it, so that's why I made this template. I'll have to cut out the wood that goes up underneath into the C channel. So if you're not familiar, the C channel is going to sit like this. Down here is your what is it? Your rails. Up here is where the skin's going to come down, and the wood's going to go in there almost like in a sandwich type configuration. So it'll slide in there probably about 2 inches or so into that C channel. So when I cut this, it'll have to slide up underneath there. And then I'll have to figure out how do I secure this to this other subfloor around it. There are a couple cross beams that come through here, so that'll give it structural integrity here in the center. But it's the first template here, so we'll do the same thing for the other side. All right, guys, so there you have it. Got the first piece cut out. So I guess if you've ever wondered what it looks like underneath the floor of your Airstream, this kind of gives you an idea. And if you'll hear people talk about C-channel, and that's a piece of aluminum that fits in here that this subfloor slides into, and then there's a bolt that bolts it on underneath here, and I'll show that to you here in just a moment. But these are your outriggers right here, your main beams, and some more cross members. You can see some of the ductwork here from the furnace that goes underneath, help warm your tanks and everything. It's 5/8 inch plywood. You can see that they treat the edges here with some type of water resistant coating or something to that effect. I mean, will be the determination of how well that works. And you can also see the only insulation you have underneath is this Reflectix type material. There's no pink Corning, or any other type of insulation underneath there. So just be aware, the only insulation you have underneath is this Reflectix type material. And I'm going to replace that with some clean new Reflectix. The other stuff was a little bit waterlogged, so I didn't want to use that. I'll have to get some of that other plywood that's up underneath the C-channel. I'll have to get that cut out as well. But that'll be the initial piece of flooring that I'll have to replace. So we'll go ahead and get this moving on to the next spot. Uh-oh, looks like the boss lady's showing up.
Oh.
So what do you think?
Oh, you had to cut into the metal?
No.
Oh, that was already...
Yeah, those are the cross members and the outriggers and everything. So go ahead and kneel down there.
Wow, you did a lot of work.
It wasn't that hard. It was just cutting the old plywood out. But I've made a template, and I'll adjust that template as needed. But I got out all of the rotted wood, as you can see, and then I'll be able to support it with those cross members there and splice it in. And because this is going to be underneath our dinette table and couch area,
it's not going to be holding a lot of weight.
Well, but I mean, those structures would hold all the weight it needed anyway. So, but we're getting there.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
You know, the first day when I saw it, I was kind of frustrated, depressed, a little upset. But the more I've been working on it, the more I've come to realize, just like owning a home, whether you spend $500,000 on a home, whether you buy a car that costs $60,000, $70,000, everything's going to require maintenance and repairs. And this just happens to be the repairs that we're going to have to make on our Airstream. And you know the old saying, every Airstream leaks.
Yeah. So
I would just tell you out there, if you own an Airstream, just be extra diligent on doing your inspections, looking under your cabinets and everywhere for any type of water intrusion, because water, just like in your house, is your worst enemy. So
yeah, definitely.
Fortunately, we caught this before it got even worse. But we're able to repair it. We're going to get it repaired. We're going to get everything put back together as good as new, and we'll get back on the road. And my goal still is to make it to Alumalina. Now, whether or not I have flooring down, I'll have the subfloor down, but I won't have probably all the flooring down, because I'll probably leave that out for a while just to make sure that we don't have any more leaks.
I agree.
And everything. So, but I just wanted to make sure the boss lady was happy with the progress.
Looks good.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
So, all right, guys. Hey, so that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to our channel. We'd love to have you follow along. Also, if you have any questions or comments, again, I'm not an Airstream expert, but I will definitely share with you my experience and any advice I have. So leave those in the comment section below. And if we don't hear from you, hopefully we'll see you down the road.
See you down the road.